Hello all, my name is Adonis and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a mid-month spread for all of my Aries out there from February 15th to the 29th. So let's get after it. Okay. Sun, rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Sun, Moon, rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Sun, rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Sun, rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Show me cards I need to see. Show me cards that I need to see. What kind of energy is coming towards my Aries during the month of February, from February 15th to the 29th. What kind of energy is coming towards my Aries during February 15th to the 29th? How many cards I need to see? Okay, that feels fantastic. All right. All right, so right from the start, we have somebody that's feeling very, very defensive. There's a lot of defensive energy here from this individual. This is an individual that I'm getting the feeling here. This is an individual that's been trying desperately to get your attention. And they really haven't been getting the traction that they want. And so they're feeling kind of defensive about it. You know, they're feeling like they're feeling as if maybe your attention is being given to others and it's not really being given to them. And they feel like they have a whole lot to offer here. So they're feeling very, very defensive, very, very defensive about what's going on with them and their potential connection to you. Okay, this individual is an air sign individual. All right, this is a Gemini, a Libra, or an Aquarius. Now, they're being, you know, the reason they're so defensive is because they feel like they're being straight up. You know, they feel like everybody else around you is either being very deceptive, very deceiving, and they feel as if since they're being honest and upfront, then, maybe, you need to give them a little bit more of your attention and your time here. All right. Now, there is this aspect of, there's this choice that they do have, and they're kind of at this midway point right now. They don't know if they should go this way or that way. Okay, they don't know if they should continue to fight, to spend the time and the energy to kind of get you to notice them, or if maybe they should maybe put their time and efforts and move towards another direction. So they're kind of like at a midway point, if you will. But with that being said, you can recognize this individual because this is an individual that's, that's trying to. It's almost as if they're trying to reason with you as to why they would be the better choice. Okay, so they're trying to reason with you. They're trying to use logic, and probably they're unaware that is coming off as very unattractive. Okay, so they're unaware of it, but nevertheless, they're being very defensive of their position. Now, with that being said, we also have a fire sign individual here. Okay, a Sagittarius, a Leo, or an Aries. Now, this individual is relatively, they have the ability to draw positive, warm energy to them. They also have the ability to give it off too. This is an individual that's probably, is most definitely probably a very attractive individual, and they're, that's pretty much all that they have going for them at the moment. They're just trying to really heavily leaning on their good looks to try to get your attention. And there's just something about them. There's this warm vibrating energy that's attracting you to them, but there really is not much else going on there besides that. The most interesting, however, here is we have another fire sign individual, Ace of Wands. Now, this individual, again, a Sagittarius, Leo, Aries. This individual, there is a definite, deep, physical, sexual attraction to this individual. Okay, and it's almost palpitating. Like as soon as you walk past this individual, you're going to kind of start to feel that sexual, the sexual chemistry between you and this other individual. And this individual is extraordinarily sexually attracted to you. As a matter of fact, that seems to be the primary, really the primary focus of their attention is somewhat in a very sexual, promiscuous way, if you will. They are trying to take the leadership role in this, so really trying to they're really trying to assert themselves. Now, this is an individual that it really doesn't appear that, and it feels to me that this type of flirtation um, did not start off lightly. This is an individual that was pretty heavy-handed about the flirtation very early on. Okay, and and it's continued to ratchet up. Okay, so this is an individual that would pretty much make have sexual innuendo towards you, tepidly, and it just increased in intensity. Now, again, there's a very thin line between that's what they say. There's a very thin line between flirtation and harassment. And this person is walking a very fine line here. Okay, they're walking a very fine line. The only reason why this hasn't manifested in your mind, at least, as harassment is because you are actually attracted to this individual. Otherwise, if this was anyone else, this would be an individual you would consider to be engaging in sexual harassment here. Okay, now, the reason why this individual is being so aggressive uh, about their and being clear about their intentions, as far as the sexual part of the relationship, is because there's a sense of them looking back and regret here, crying over spilled milk here. So there was an opportunity, at least in their mind, where they had the opportunity to really have something with someone, and they missed the opportunity. So they don't want they don't want the same thing to happen again. So that's why they're being so aggressive about really letting their intentions be known here. We have the World card here. So most likely, there's a couple scenarios here to this. Number one, this could most definitely be an individual from a different ethnicity than you are. Okay, this is someone different from the culture that you are, a foreign culture, if you will. And or the other aspect of this could be someone, like I said, that has been, things have come full circle. This is an individual where they have been admiring you from afar, and like I said, as soon as they decided to make their presence known, they came very heavy-handed right from the beginning. Okay, right. And finally, here we have an air sign individual, Knight of Swords here. And this individual here, Gemini, Libra, or an Aquarius. This individual, again, is being very direct. As a matter of fact, this individual is being a lot more direct than the fire sign individual. As a matter of fact, and also what this individual is trying to do is cut out the other individuals that are in this spread here, and they're being very, very direct, and they're approaching you very, very, very quickly. So it's kind of like a bull through a china shop type of thing going on here with this individual. And as I always like to say about the Knight of Swords, this is an individual that acts first and then thinks about the consequences later, and that's because they're very passionate about about what they're trying to achieve. So this is an individual that is coming right at you, again, very, very direct. Except with this individual, this is the individual that's being very upfront about all the intentions that they have for you, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. But they're being very direct about it, and they're approaching very, very fast. You have two people that are being very, very direct here about their intentions, and it seems like neither one of these individuals are kind of letting up here. So with that being said, what are the blockages to you? What are the blockages to you to this situation? What are the blockages? The potential blockages to any of these particular love interests here. What are the blockages to any of these potential love interests here? Here we go. So one card wanted to pop out, so we're definitely going to take that. Okay. So. Okay, so Again, these are the blockages. So one blockage, most definitively, is the moon card deception. Okay, there is definitely a possibility of there being some sort of hidden perils here. Okay, um, things that you're unaware of in the situation. So with people not being really forthwith. So that is something that you definitely want to pay attention to here. You want to make sure these individuals, the rhetoric is matching the reality of what they're really looking for and what they're really about. Also here, a blockage to the situation is we have the Four of Wands here. So this is what's this saying to me is you want to make sure that there's actually an opportunity to, if you engage in something with one of these individuals, okay, a long-term relationship here, you want to make sure that they have, that you guys are on the same wavelength here, because again, you want to make sure the rhetoric matches the reality, because there is a high probability here. Again, these are the blockages here. Normally there'll be strengths, but these are the blockages here, that this is something that's not long-term. This is just something temporary. So there's an aspect of immediacy that's here. Okay. Also, we have the Eight of Pentacles here. So again, how you view that as a blockage is, again, this is an individual, if things do start to become dicey, there's a possibility that these individuals will not be willing to put in the work. You want to make sure that they're willing to put in the work to really make the relationship work. Okay, because every relationship has ebbs and flows, peaks and valleys, and you want to make sure that these individuals are willing to put in the work. In addition, here we have the Ace of Wands. Okay, so sure, there's definitely a lot of sexual tension and energy here, but you kind of want to make sure that it's a little bit more than just some sexual attraction. You want to actually make sure that there's some kind of depth there. There's something that really be a sense of having a solid footing with this situation, because like I said before, there's definitely sexual attraction there, but you don't want that to be all that there is. Okay. Also, we have the Knight of Swords energy here as well as a blockage. Now, again, the Knight of Swords moves very, very quickly, and it cuts out things. So this is a twofold issue here. Number one, you don't want to cut out an individual or something that could wind up having a sense of gravitas, and actually being something that can blossom into something fulfilling and prosperous in the long run. You don't want to cut that out real quick. So with this Queen of Swords individual here, again, with them feeling kind of defensive because they're being upfront about what their intentions are, you don't want to make the mistake and cut that individual out too quick, okay, without really knowing what their full intentions are. Also here, we have the Justice card. We have Truth. So here's the thing with the Moon card. There's going to be this aspect of deception. There's definitely going to be aspects of individuals not being very truthful about what their intentions are. Again, expediency being one of the prime factors here. You want someone that you can grow with, that you can learn from, they can learn from you, etc., etc. You don't want anybody that's in for the short term. They get what they want out of the relationship, and then they disappear. So you want to be very, very careful about that. Finally, Ace of Cups, love. That's what this overarching theme of all of these blockages are. There may actually be an issue of really having a true deep love connection with one of these individuals, okay? You don't want to cut out the wrong individual that really doesn't. That individual that you cut out could possibly have the ability to really show you deep emotional affection, okay? Whereas the individual that it may seem at first like there's chemistry with this individual because there's a lot of rhetoric, there's a lot of rhetoric, there's a lot of attraction to this individual. There could be a complete absence of love here. So you want to be careful about that, okay? So with that being said, those are the blockages. Let's see what kind of strengths you're going to be dealing with this time. What kind of strength are you going to be dealing with? What kind of strength are you going to be dealing with here? So, one good strength to have is the Empress card, fertility. Okay, fertility, abundance, material happiness. So that's what you're looking for. So 9 times out of 10, you know, because you're looking for something solid, you're looking for a situation in which at some point in your life you want to have kids with an individual. You're going to recognize, you're going to be able to pretty quickly recognize and kind of pull apart whether an individual is being upfront and honest or not. Okay, it may be a little difficult, but you know, because you're really looking for something that's solid. At least in the short run, you'll be able to pick out if somebody is you know, if they're really authentic or not. Okay, they're really going to have to be on their A game to be deceptive. In other words, so you're going to pick up someone that's being, you know, deceptive, you know, right from the surface, real quick. Okay, that's number one. Number two, again, like I said before, we have the 7 of Swords energy here. So you know, this being strengths, you have the ability to recognize sneaky behavior, relative surface sneaky behavior very, very quickly, because you're looking for someone, again, that's going to have some substance to them. Also here we have the 4 of Pentacles. So this is a situation in which you want to come as close as possible to having an assured situation here, assured success. Okay, and again, that's why you're going to be just a little bit cautious. You're going to be a little bit cautious. Again, someone's really going to have to be on their A game to pretty much pull one over on you. Finally, here we have the Hermit card, and that tells me that, you know what, you pretty much have done a lot of soul searching and self-reflecting on yourself. So you're very aware that you are in a really good place. You're balanced, you're mentally balanced, you're spiritually balanced. So you're in a really good place. Any kind of individual that comes along that's going to be deceptive, again, I'm really going to stress, they're really going to have to be on their A game to be deceptive. It's going to take a lot of effort on their part, because you're going to pick up on those deceptive qualities relatively quickly. Okay, so with that being said, let me see what additional information the Spirit want to give before I shut this thing down. What additional information the Spirit want to give before I shut this thing down? What additional information the Spirit want to give before I shut this thing down? Okay. Pretty clearly. Never a crowd on the leading edge. Honor those who honor you. That is pretty much straightforward. Honor those that honor you. Okay, so in other words here, again, if someone is being deceptive to you, if they're not really willing to put the work in, or if they want to move too quickly, then it's okay for you to distance yourself from that individual, because you want people to show you respect, okay, and honor you. Therefore, you feel free to honor them. A lot of times, individuals that want to move too quickly, or don't have a whole lot of time for small talk. They're mainly in relationships mainly for just one reason. If they don't have the time, if they have a very short attention span, and they don't have the time to really, you know, engage in a small talk to kind of get to know you a little bit, you know, to kind of take their time in a relationship, then that's a red flag, you know, and you may want to you're going to want to watch out for that. Dream redirection. What that's saying to me is individuals here, that you may be visualizing in your mind you're attracted to this individual, so the relationship's going to turn out this way. If you start seeing red flags, then what you may want to do is kind of pull back on that and redirect that energy towards someone or something else. Okay? Doesn't necessarily mean that you need to redirect that energy into another relationship so quickly, but if things begin to kind of take a bad turn, kind of don't be afraid to kind of back things up and redirect that energy towards something else, or take a step back and re-examine the situation. Okay, so just because in your mind you're dreaming of that a situation is going to be a certain way, if it starts to kind of go in a really weird, funky direction, don't be afraid to pull back, reevaluate the situation, and kind of either put that energy into something else or on someone else. Do not stay in a bad situation because you're hoping and praying that it changes. Okay? And finally here, make the grade with flying colors. Remember, you signed up for this. So, if you do decide to, Spirit wants you to know, if you do decide to stay with an individual where there are like several red flags here, remember you signed up for this. So don't in turn go and complain to others about, oh, you can't believe how bad it was. I can't believe how bad it is, how terrible it is. You signed up for this. Okay, there were a lot of red flags. You knew what you were getting into, before you stepped into the situation here. So again, save yourself a lot of time, a lot of heartache. If things start going in a really weird direction of what you're not comfortable with, or they don't turn out to be who you thought they were, do not be afraid to kind of take a step back up, reevaluate the situation, and either put that time and energy into someone else or something else that's going to be the payoff, where the payoff's going to be a lot better. Okay, so that being said, I'm going to shut this thing down now. This is a general love reading. If this resonated with you, fantastic. And you want to know a little bit more, feel free to get a personal reading. I'll leave the link below. If it did not resonate with you, that's okay too. You want to know a little bit more about your particular situation, again, you feel free to get a personal reading. If you haven't already, please like, please share, please subscribe. My name is Adonis. I love you guys, and I'll definitely see you next time. Bye-bye.